Good Friday morning and welcome to KSAT News Now, our bite-sized digital newscast streaming Monday through Friday at 11. And if you're listening to the podcast, thanks for joining us.
How about this, huh? What a pair.
What a pair.
Priscilla and David. We
David
like that.
Sears, and he's here on the perfect day because we're talking a lot of Spurs stuff today.
What is it, the 50th anniversary tonight at the Alamodome? Going to be packed, 65,000. We'll talk a little bit about that in a few minutes. Today is January 13th. It's Friday. Are you superstitious?
No.
Not at all?
No.
So if there was a ladder right there, you'd walk under it if you had to?
I mean,
Or
not.
if there was a black cat running across the floor, you would?
I try not to be. Let put it that way. I try not to be superstitious, but yes, it does come through my mind if I see like the umbrella inside. I'm like, don't open that. Don't do it. And
What
my
about
daughter.
a mirror?
Oh no, cracked mirror.
Cracked mirror?
Nah.
Nah,
You?
Doesn't bother you? I try to avoid it. I'm not superstitious, but if there's a ladder there, I'll walk around
You'll
it.
walk around it?
Yeah. Or,
Well, for a long time, have you ever heard the one about the pole where like if you split the pole, you're gonna have bad luck? No?
the pole?
A pole, like so if you're walking down the street and you're with a pair or you're with somebody, you all gotta walk on the
Oh, like a
same
light pole?
side of the light pole.
Or a like a utility pole, or
Yeah.
a traffic light pole? If you split it?
If you split it,
So if we were walking down the street and we didn't go on the same side of the pole,
you're gonna have bad luck. And you're gonna give me
man, I
bad
never
luck,
heard
so
that
I'm
one.
gonna pull you this way. So I guess I am superstitious.
I did not know that. Now I got
Right.
something to worry about when I'm walking down the street other than getting hit by a car.
And don't step on any cracks.
Don't someone do that either?
You've never heard that one?
You can't avoid cracks in the sidewalk. Come on.
Anyway, we're clearly having a good Friday,
What
huh?
am I supposed to do there? So, all right, well, let's pack away the superstitions and let's get to it, shall we?
Yes, so we do have a big show to get into.
Yeah.
We do have some tragic news for San Antonio. A longtime business owner passes, and he's the founder of Bolner Fiesta Spices.
And we're also talking about New Year's resolutions and sharing some local groups that will help you stick to your resolutions. Some people don't even make New Year's resolutions anymore. They just try to set goals. But
That's
we're going
neat.
to walk down memory lane with the San Antonio Spurs. How old were you when they won their first
So
championship?
99, I was 10. And he is just shocked by that fact. But
Do you remember some of the players on that 99 championship team?
I do.
Okay.
I do remember some of them, and I'm not going to list them, but I do remember them. And
Okay.
most of all, I remember that after they won, we did the whole like true to San Antonio thing where we went down Commerce and my family celebrated. We had those flags that were flapping in the wind attached to the car. We did the whole shebang. So that's what I remember.
That was great. That was some awesome time. Of course, the Dome's going to be open up tonight. A lot of folks have some memories. They're expecting over 64,000 people there. That's how many tickets they have sold. That's going to break an NBA record, I think.
It's going to set a new record, I'm sure,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
So tip-off's going to be at 6:30 at the Alamodome, and the Spurs are going to be taking on Golden State. Now, tonight's game is pretty iconic because the first ever game inside the Alamodome was actually against the Warriors in 1993.
So here's your trivia question.
Okay?
Who's the coach of the Warriors now who was on the Spurs team?
Kerr.
Steve Kerr. I didn't
Kerr.
pass that right, but yeah, Steve
I
Kerr
got
was
you.
the coach of is the coach of the Warriors, but he was on the championship team when the Spurs won it.
So a lot of people are actually looking forward to it. For that alone, they're looking forward to it tonight. But we did see the Spurs actually posted on Twitter.
I like that which Dome memory lives rent free in your head.
Yeah, they had some interesting responses, a lot of responses actually. So I want to ask you first, do you have one memory that you...
I could not narrow it down to one. We could be here for hours talking about some of the memories. Just the championship, the cannon going off on the first night when the water cannon went off. You've seen the video probably of that, so that's a memory. The Memorial Day miracle, obviously. Dennis Rodman and some of his antics in the Dome is a memory, and then they just
just have an endless
so
list
many
here.
of them. So much happened in that Alamodome.
So some of the responses, this one is from Coach MacGyver. He said, Spurs versus Rockets, February 18th, 1996. Sean Elliott opens with a hammer dunk on Houston. Loved the Rocket battles.
Josephine Piscina said so many memories, the NBA Finals games, the Memorial Day Miracle, the riverboats, Alamodome celebrations in '99, etc. See, they just go on and on. There's so many.
And then Brian White said, my very first Spurs game, 2000 versus the Timberwolves. It rained so hard that night,
yeah,
the roof
right.
leaked.
See, I forgot about that one.
He said
I
it
remember
delayed
that.
the game about 10 minutes, I think, to dry the floor. That's a good memory.
I remember that. The Alamodome roof leaking. That's right. I forgot about that one.
Were you there for that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was there for most of that excitement.
And
so.
the last response that I saw is pretty funny.
That's funny.
This guy's name is Theo Crunchy on Twitter. And he said, I was a baby, bro. Don't put this pressure on me.
Ask David about, yeah, okay. So, yeah, and that was just, I forgot about the roof leaking. That was funny. Yeah, and a lot of people will remember, and that's the thing about tonight with so many people going, they won't have the setup that they had when the Spurs played in there because it was just half of the football field.
Yeah.
And they kind of did it in a different direction. And they had the scoreboard come down, and then they had one side only had 19 rows because they had the big blue curtain came down.
Oh, yeah, I
and
do
the
remember that.
bleachers on that side, it was opposite of the benches, and those bleachers on that side rolled all the way to the other end of the stadium. And then they would roll them back down, and they'd hang that curtain.
Big old curtain.
And it's a big old blue curtain. And the most they had in there was, I believe it was for an All-Star game when Michael Jordan was playing, and they had the NBA All-Star game, and they had like over 40,000. But they'd left it in that configuration.
Yeah.
And then they started, opening it up to get more people in there.
Yeah.
But that's how they played all those games, was in that configuration. And a lot of times, if there wasn't enough fans in there, they'd like hang curtains over the top of the stadium to cover the seats, so you couldn't tell that there was nobody up there. So I mean, they had, they can get in there 35.
Well, tonight they're not going to
37,000.
need any curtains. It's going to be a packed house tonight, and we did talk about this yesterday. We'll get into it a little bit more, but the traffic is probably going to be pretty chaotic downtown
I
today.
can imagine.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's like some parking rides, and there's a lot of parking lots downtown. So just pack your patience to be ready. Matter of fact, because of all the traffic, because of so many people going down there, I think they're going to open the doors at 4:30. Remember, the tip-off tonight is at 6:30. Usually it's at 7 or 7:30, but I think it's on ESPN tonight. So they're tipping off at 6:30. And the doors are going to open up at 4:30, so that's kind of an unusual time because it's 2 hours before tip-off, where it's usually not 2 hours before tip-off. So they're making some accommodations for you. So
Trying to help you out. Well,
Yeah.
sticking with memories, we do have an article on KSAT.com. We're sharing pictures of some of the most iconic Spurs moments inside the Dome. They're going to feature everyone from David Robinson, Tim Duncan, Avery Johnson, and yes, none other than Coach Pop himself.
Michael Jordan is even one of those. Okay, you want a quick story about Michael Jordan?
Yeah.
A quick story. There is a picture in the 2000 Time Magazine Year in Pictures of one of our photographers and myself interviewing Michael Jordan.
Ooh.
We made it into Time Magazine.
Now, did you collect the
Pictures.
magazine? Do you have it?
Yeah, my wife has it somewhere at home.
Oh,
yeah, I don't
of
know
course.
exactly where it is right now. But the interesting thing about the picture is it's the back of Michael Jordan's head, but it's Michael Jordan.
You're right.
That's how iconic that guy is. But there's several members of the media from San Antonio, but our photographer Mark Mendez and myself, you can plainly see us.
You got to
standing
bring
there.
it in sometime so
We'll
we
have to
can
show
see
that.
it.
But that was in the dome. That was in the Alamodome.
Oh, look,
So
there's the blue curtain. And
there's the blue curtain, yeah.
That's what you were just talking about. So, yeah, if you want to see these pictures, if you're listening to the podcast, you can check them out on KSAT.com.
It's a great shot right there.
These are just, I was looking through them, and I'm like, man, kudos to whoever took these pictures because they are literally just so iconic. And the funny thing is that a lot of these are in the 90s, and you can even see some of the quality differences from then to now.
Yeah.
But it's just, like we said, a trip down memory lane, and I'm excited to see, what pictures get taken tonight, because those are going to be iconic too.
And the third largest crowd ever in the Alamodome was the night that they celebrated that first championship. Remember, all the people went. They had the river parade.
Yes.
And then the players and everybody came over to the Alamodome, and that was like, I believe that goes down as like the third largest crowd ever in the dome until now.
Until now.
I think Billy Graham was number 1, George Strait was number 2, and that Spurs championship was number 3. I think we'll double check with Justin. He looked it up earlier, but yeah, look at that. That's
Crazy.
Man, oh man,
Well,
that's a great picture right there.
Then we were also looking to see what tickets are left over, and we went to Ticketmaster, and some of them, of course, a lot of them are resale tickets, but people do this all the time where they kind of just rake up those prices. So some of them were going for $3,500. Like, can you even believe that?
Yeah, $3,500. They were what, like on row F or something? So they're on like 6 rows up from the court. So I guess if you got money to burn in your pocket, that'd be a good place to burn it.
Yeah.
check things out. A lot of those around the court, and even some a little back further from the court, were like an $1,100, $1,300 range. So
And then
Yeah.
there's some higher up, still in the
Yeah.
like $100 range. So
There's still a few left
there's
over
still
there.
some
so-
left.
But
But if you are going down there, don't
Yep.
forget to get there early. The parking's going to open up in about 20 minutes at 11:30, so you can start getting your passes there. But you also can take Via's Park and Ride service.
Mm-hmm.
That's from the AT&T Center and from Crossroads, and those start at 2:30.
in AT&T Center, if you ever done that, AT&T Center's not that far away. It's probably about a 10, 15-minute ride. So if you go over there and park and take the bus, you'll be fine. Everything's good. There is a Alamodome clear bag policy that you need to be aware of. And once again, the doors are going to open at 4:30. Tip-off is at 6:30. And if they win or they lose, there's still going to be a party with some fireworks out there on the HEB Plaza. Is that what they call it?
Yeah, right in front.
So it'll be fun. So get out there and enjoy. 65,000 almost.
Are you going to be there tonight?
We'll be there all night long.
Yeah? How exciting.
I wouldn't miss this one. This is
Right?
going to be fun. Yeah, this will be a good time. So we'll see you there.
Yeah. Well,
So, yep.
and now we're going to turn actually to some sad news for the entertainment community. Lisa Marie Presley, daughter of Elvis and Priscilla Presley, has died.
It is reported that Lisa went into cardiac arrest. The 54-year-old was hospitalized yesterday. It happened in the evening. Her mother confirmed Lisa Marie's passing, saying that she was the most passionate, strong, and loving woman she has ever known.
Now, people have been pretty shocked by her passing, considering she was just at the Golden Globe Awards on Tuesday, where actor Austin Butler won an award for his performance as her father in the movie Elvis. So,
It's shocking and it's very sad.
54? That's so
Yeah.
young. Oh, producer Robert just told us she
Yeah.
actually did play at one of the AT&T final games for the Spurs.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And her son passed away, right? And so this is kind of the legacy of Elvis Presley is getting thin.
Yeah, dwindling
this
down
is
here.
absolutely amazing. And I do know that she I guess she gave her stamp of approval on this movie, this Elvis movie that just came out.
Did you see it?
I have not seen it. Would
No?
like to see it, but I think she kind of approved of that movie. Which there's a lot of stuff that comes out. People are like family members. No, that's not close. But apparently this movie was pretty close to.
Yeah, it had her stamp of approval on
so-
it, and
so
it
that's a
was
good
good. I think we talked about it earlier this
Yeah.
week. I actually did like it.
Oh, you
and
saw
of course,
it?
I did see it.
Oh, yeah.
And he won an award, so a pretty good thing to for her to experience.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, before she passed, but.
And closer to home, another big loss for San Antonio. If you're familiar with Bolner's Fiesta brand spices, the founder, Clifton Bolner, passed away. And if you've ever used them, you've probably seen a lot of them when you're strolling down the aisle at the grocery store. He is a San Antonio native, was born on the South Side, started the company way back in 1955. He led it for 63 years before his second and third generation family members took it over. Some of the most iconic spices are
The Uncle Chris's Gourmet Steak Seasoning, Sweet Tooth Cinnamon Topping, and of course, my all-time favorite, the Menudo Spice Mix, which we use for Christmas all the time. Bolner is survived by his 8 children and their spices, 8 children, 27 grandchildren, and 19 great-grandchildren.
Great-grandchildren.
And in an Instagram post, they say he died peacefully at his home at the age of 94, and through spices, food, friendship, family, and most of all, his faith, Popo, or Cliff, as many people knew him, was able to touch the lives of countless individuals. He will forever be in our hearts. That's what that post said. Funeral services for him are actually arranged for today.
So those spices will be his legacy.
Right.
Pretty good. Huh? And you like the Menudo spice?
The Menudo spice, and
Wow.
then they have the oregano, and literally the label is what is really iconic. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but walking down the spice aisle, there's a pretty big display at my HEB actually, and the label, it's kind of just going to be a little sad walking down there and realizing
Yeah.
that it's moving along here. But
All right, so we're 13 days into the new year. We've kept up your resolutions, have you? Justin, you kept up your resolution?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, okay. That's why he's standing over there off camera. You see the look on his face. How about you? Did you keep them up?
I don't make resolutions.
Yeah,
Do you?
See, no, I
Oh.
do not, because once you've not done it, once you've failed at it, once you've didn't reach that resolution,
Yeah.
or you broke it or whatever, then it's like you feel like you kind of failed. So why make it? So anyway, Forbes magazine says around 80% of people admit to forgetting their resolutions by fail. Well, I don't forget it. I just don't
Don't make it.
It's like, wow, you forget it? I made that resolution. Yeah, okay, that's what happens when you let them go.
Well,
Okay.
fitness is part of your resolution. If you're one of those people, joining a San Antonio running group could help you keep your fitness resolution in check. The In the Loop Run Crew is free to join here in San Antonio. They're a friendly and diverse group of people that walk or run at different paces. No matter how fast or slow you are at first, you'll always be encouraged to just do your best.
Running Down a Dream is a nonprofit organization for kids and teens dedicated to teaching them a healthy lifestyle. They meet every Saturday, 9 o'clock in the morning at the Woodlawn Lake Gym. If you'd like more challenging experience, the Bear Run Crew have weekly Friday power line runs where you can run along the paths of Texas power lines. Really?
And they meet at 6:30 in the morning, so that's a bright and early start. That's at Whole Foods on Blanco and 1604.
That's a lot of running. That's a lot of work right there. I'm not sure about that, especially early in the morning. So but that's
Honestly,
why we don't do resolutions. I just do goals.
I think you need to go do some wind sprints before you do the game tonight. Just get prepared. Be there in Alamodome. Get in shape.
I'll think about it.
We should record you running around the Alamodome.
Get those legs
2
stretched
laps.
out.
I'm gonna find me a good seat and watch the festivities. Watch it all unfold.
Not a
It'll be fun.
$3,500 seat though, right?
No.
Just kidding.
Oh man, this is gonna be a lot of people there tonight.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
It'll be a blast.
should be.
All right.
Should be. You guys mentioned Friday the 13th earlier. I think you heard. So here is the trivia question today. How often does Friday the 13th occur? Is it A, every year, B, every other year, C, once every 3 years, or D, once a decade?
I'm gonna say every year.
Okay.
There's a Friday the 13th every year,
Okay.
isn't there?
All right. You guys are good. Just checking. Just checking. You're spot on.
I didn't even cheat. I knew.
I knew that
You
one.
knew that
Friday
one?
the 13th occurs every year. Any month that starts on a Sunday will contain a Friday the 13th.
Oh, no, that I didn't know.
I didn't know that.
There
either.
can be more than 3 Friday. There can be no more than 3 Friday the 13th in 1 year.
Really?
So some years there's 3, some years there's 1, some years there's 2.
But if the month starts on a Sunday,
It starts on a
That's
day.
the way I
there's
understand it.
There's a Friday the 13th.
Correct.
I know this because we write the stories all the time about the free tattoos or the $13 tattoos.
Right.
On Friday, that's why I know that.
See,
Okay.
you learn stuff if you,
Yeah.
you read, right? So then, yeah.
Okay.
So what's the weather going to be like tonight for Spurs?
Speaking of Friday the 13th weather,
Yeah, that's the big question, right? It should be really nice. Should be really nice. We started off a little chilly this morning. We had lows down in the 30s. Some places did get down to freezing. But look at the situation outside right now. Doesn't get much better than that. Blue skies. I mean, temperatures are close to perfect. 57 right now. Mostly sunny. Dew point is at 26. Northerly winds at about 7 miles per hour. It was chilly, yes, but it feels great out there right now. And I think we get up to around 65 this afternoon. That's where we were yesterday. We just took the wind out of the equation. 62 Bernie, 64 Canyon Lake today, 64 in Kerrville, 66 in Hondo. And then tonight, temperatures will be right back down into the 30s. So we'll start off at 36 tomorrow. Some places may get down to freezing in the hill country, 31 Kerrville, 32 Bandera. But if we see a freeze, just like this morning, shouldn't last very long and shouldn't be a big deal. Here in town, I think we stay above that mark. I'm keeping this short and simple because there's not much to it, guys. 67 Saturday, 74 Sunday. We may get some fog Sunday morning. And then for Monday, for MLK Day, looks good. 79, the March, great weather for that. We like to see that. Partly cloudy skies, partly cloudy Tuesday. And there is a small chance of a shower coming up on Wednesday with a frontal boundary, if you want to call it that. It cools us down a little bit, but not a whole lot. So this is another great stretch of weather. January has been above average, looks to stay that way. There are some indications that maybe by the end of the month we could see it cool down, but we're not going to get too excited about that yet.
Well,
looks like spring.
it looks like spring, but it's not. We need the cold weather.
I mean, it was
For me.
cold this morning. I mean, today's one of those perfect days where it's if you like cold weather, you get it in the morning, and then the afternoon's just like the perfect air temperature.
And without all that wind. Yesterday was pretty brutal out there.
It
with
was
the wind
blustery.
gusts.
Yeah, today the wind has died down significantly.
All right, Justin, thank you much.
You got it?
Hey, before we go, if you are looking for a fun vacation spot to take your family and you don't really want to travel all that far, Dallas-Fort Worth may be the next place for your destination.
So first we had the new Universal Studios theme park announced, and now the interactive art exhibit Meow Wolf is opening this summer.
It's-
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
It's set to open in Grapevine Mills Mall just north of Dallas, Fort Worth Airport.
A Houston location also expected to open in 2024. If you're unsure what Meow Wolf is, that would be me. It's an interactive art exhibit where you can explore, climb, crawl, jump, your way across 30 different rooms, all designed by unique and local artists of that particular area.
And look how beautiful those pictures are. So some of the room designs feature grocery stores that sell strange products to enchanted forests with lights that follow your movements. Meow Wolf has exhibits in Santa Fe, Las Vegas, and Denver, and soon Texas.
So more for you to do.
More to do.
No excuses. You can't find something to do.
No, not
all
at
right
all.
there. So, all right. Well, it's the big night, 50th anniversary, San Antonio Spurs. And what do we say when we talk Spurs and we're ready to go? We say,
Go Spurs, go!
"Ooh, wow, she's fired up." Good for you. We'll see you at the game.